Alright, here we are again with another locomotive review. Today we'll be reviewing the BR Standard Class 4MT by Bachmann, or if some people say Bachmann. Really it doesn't matter which way you say it because it can be said either way. Usually people from Britain tend to say Bachmann, but some people say, well, no, that's wrong. Well, no, it's not. Actually, the majority of people say Bachmann because it's really popular overseas. So either way you say it, don't say one way is wrong or the other way, because you could say it either way. Alright, well, this is actually one of my favorite BR Standard Class locomotives. This was used for suburban and passenger duties as well as commuter trains. This locomotive was based off of the XLMS Fairburn 264T, which stands for tank. And this is obviously a non-tender version of the Standard Class 4MT locomotive, originally based off of this. So this was built in three different places, three different works. Brighton Works, where 130 were produced, Derby Works, where 15 were produced, and Doncaster Works, where 10 were produced. And they were built from July in 1951 to November in 1956. So it had about a 5-year run, so that was actually pretty nice. There were some changes from the Fairburn 264T to this. One notable difference is the cylinder size is quite different. This one has much larger cylinders on it. It also has smaller road wheels on the front and back. The drive wheels are about the same size, but the trailing road wheels near the bunker are somewhat smaller, and that's a notable difference. Also, the tanks were curved a little more than the Fairburn 264T. So, a total of 155 were produced, and a total of 15 were saved by the cutting torch, and were fully preserved, and are operational actually. If you live in Britain and you like these, there will be plenty out there for you to see in action. So, onto the model. Now, this is actually kind of an old design for Bachmann. They originally released this, I believe, in the 90s, but it was re-released with new tooling and a different style packaging. I definitely prefer this style of packaging because it protects the model a lot more, and this unfortunately doesn't have the card above it so you can see the actual locomotive, but it does have a window to see the actual model. So I believe that looking for inspection of damaged parts on this locomotive is much easier. But it does have really nice packaging, and a lot better than the Bachmann American packaging, in my opinion. So also, this was a fair price. I paid about $90 US for it, which is about it's about 70. Maybe probably around 60 actually, 60 British pounds. It was quite a good amount of money, but I believe it's definitely worth it because the detail in this locomotive is definitely superb. Alright, so get this. If you take this part out, just be very careful when you do that because sometimes it falls out by itself. And as you see here, we get some leaflets of information. This one is for their collectors club. They put this in every one of them now, and I have many of them, and pretty soon I will probably join that collectors club, considering that I buy a lot of their products. Also, you get a customer guarantee and some information on how to maintain your locomotive. And right here we have an assembly guide and a parts guide. And this is pretty much if you take apart your locomotive and you lose something, or if something breaks, this is the part guide to show you what you can, where you can order, and how you can order, and what part number you have to order to fix that. Also have some warnings, and right here just tell you not to do certain things. Also, it says removal of the body shell is necessary to undo 5 screws, which I found out. And I will give you a little bit of warning ahead of time that, whoa, that was weird. I'll give you a little bit of warning ahead of time that if you do intend to fit a DCC decoder in this locomotive, which I have done, yes, take great care not to break any detail parts off. Actually, I found that I had to remove a detail piece that was already attached to the locomotive when I had to do that, but it snaps back on. It doesn't break or anything. You don't have to break it off, you just have to remove it. Just be very careful. Also use a very small screwdriver. You don't want to lose those screws in it. So, here we go. I like the way that they package all of these. Usually you only see this kind of packaging with higher end Athearn and Bachmann Spectrum models in the US, so I'm glad they do this as a standard packaging now for Bachmann. So you lift this and out it goes. There's some just some packaging there to protect the paintwork. Alright, see if I can get this back open. Alright, so this is happening a lot. Alright, so one thing I do notice, lots of people say it, but I have to comment on it, it is very heavy. Especially for a tank locomotive, even though it's a larger tank locomotive, very, very heavy. And just if you look at it the first time, the detail is outstanding, and the paint work is very nicely done, along with the, I believe it's the early crest. Yes, this is the early crest for British Railways. This is number 80053. And I'm not sure if this is one of the ones that have been preserved or not, but hopefully, because I really enjoyed this locomotive itself. Alright, so one thing you'll also notice is the cylinders are pretty large for this locomotive, and they're also slanted downward. I'm not sure why they've done this. If you can comment below, tell me why. I'd love to know. Also, you can see some detail parts on the side. This is the one I had to remove to get the body shell off, which is alright. As you can see in the cab, I'm not sure you can see it actually, but there's some cab detail, and it's very nice. Lots of separately fitted items along the top here, including safety valves, whistles, steam pipes, and along the drive wheels there's some brake pipes, some sanding gears, and some actual separate brakes. Some of it's so hard to see because it's all black, but it's definitely there. And I do like this wheel arrangement. Now this wheel arrangement was very different from an American wheel arrangement. Actually, American trains never had this type of wheel arrangement. They had a 262, and they've had, you know, 040s and things like that, but they never had this 264 type of arrangement. So very different. But also there's some more separately fitted pipes on the side here, along with ones on the top of the tanks. The water tanks are really nicely done, and the texture is very nice on the paint for them. And actually there's some separately fitted windows that have been applied to the front windows right here. And the coal is in there, and it's really nice. I haven't tested it to see if it's removable, but I wouldn't try it just because the size of the bunker is rather small. There's also handrails and grab irons on the back of the bunker. And yes, as a standard for Bachmann models now, the buffers are sprung, and the buffer design is an oval, which is very nice. There's also a hook right here. Alright, and also has NEM couplings on it, And also I found that these don't have a problem staying on the track when it goes around corners and stuff. I do recommend something a little larger than second radius curve for this. I really prefer third radius curves or larger for these type of engines anyway. I rarely use anything smaller than that. Another interesting thing I found out, and be very careful when doing this, is that the smokebox door opens, and unfortunately there's no detail behind that, but that's fine. Another interesting thing about this is you can pop a decoder in there and just work on it there if you wish. Also, it might be easier to fit a smoke unit in there just by access right here. And so that's really nice. And the door on the outside has a lot of detail as well as the number and a crest right there. Now some of these items have already been fitted to the buffer beams. For example, the vacuum pipe has already been fitted, but it looks very nice with it, and it is supplied. And there's steps on here that have already been fitted before I fitted them, and they're really nice. So just taking a look at this, there's an incredible amount of detail, and you wouldn't get this for $90 in America. You just simply wouldn't. You would have to buy an Athearn Genesis or Bachmann Spectrum, which are well over $100. So I'm very pleased with this level of detail for the money I have. Now we're going to test the performance of this locomotive on the track.